annoyed when someone said, there we go, carrying on. I get really annoyed when people fucking talk during their sets. It's annoying, isn't it?
It is. The reason I've just started the recording, guys, is because I thought we were having a good chat, and sometimes we have a good chat for about half an hour and then we're like, oh, we should probably start recording. So we were just talking about people talking during sets, or like basically when it's for show, they'll like either scream, during the set or on rep 3, or they'll say, fucking come on, you cunts. They're about 2 reps in. Sorry for anybody that doesn't like that word. They're about 2 reps in.
Not like the C word. I do apologise.
Sorry for anyone that is a cunt. But yeah, like people will know what we mean. Is that your mum?
No.
Oh, sorry.
How you doing? You're right.
Oh,
nice win. So yeah, no, it's annoying, isn't it? And I always said, we were saying, like, it is for show. It's like for how hard I train, how hard you train. And in reality, it's like if you're in a set and you're even saying stuff like that, I'd question you. Even like, it would take me out the set. If like, and it would like
preset sort of. The preset ritual to sort of get you switched on is different for everyone, and some people might be more vocal, some people might be more quiet. Like, that's fine. And I don't mind. Like, you do whatever you want to get yourself switched on for a set. But during a set, if you're screaming and shouting and like making noise especially when you can tell it's not needed, like the people, like we were saying, like if ever in a set, like we make a noise, or people who make a noise in a set, it's usually like they don't actually mean to do it. They're not deliberately making that noise. It's just like a grunt or like a kind of noise when they're struggling.
Yeah.
Rather than like, fucking come on, 3 reps in.
Yeah. And like we said, like with the grunting, like 3 reps or 2 reps into a set, it's like, again, like it's not really needed. Like on a leg press, I can understand the first rep because you're getting into it. And after that, like it would throw my brace off completely. You
don't do 3 reps. You don't get that many reps.
On a leg press, mate, everything is high rep stuff for me on leg movements. Anything else, it's ones and twos. I mean, I'm literally like, I just do sets of 3 now, and it's all it is. But yeah, it's one of those. I think people try to demonstrate how hard they train, and unfortunately, with the social media and everything, again, it makes no sense because you can see in results, you can see in progression the people who are actually training. You don't need to say it. You don't need to emphasize just how hard you're training, or like it's, I don't know. No one knows better.
You get to a point where, like, especially now, like I must have watched tens of thousands of form videos.
Yeah. How many do you reckon you watched there? Genuinely. I got asked this by a client and I was like, I literally wouldn't be able to tell you. I'd love to like write down every single set I watch and just, like make a note, like have a step.
Well, you could always look back that day. Like right at the end of it. I'd probably say on average between 100 and 200.
Yeah. Yeah. So, 10 people.
If you think about it, even if like 12 people send their full session, and it depends on how busy you've been, because like usually clients that are newer will send more things, but like how busy you've been in terms of recent setups, I mean. But even still, like obviously we have most of our clients still sending some videos from sessions, So yeah, I'd say between 100 and 200. 200 would be like that'd be like, oh, fucking hell, very busy day. Like where everybody's like sent through all their session of that day, or a lot of people.
It seems to always be like a Monday. Monday, I'm like, I check WhatsApp and I'm like, great, that's everyone's Monday session, and it kind of dies off throughout the week, which is fortunate.
Yeah,
like Thursdays not too busy.
Tuesday's always a busy one.
Yeah,
I feel like Thursday, quite a lot of people on a rest day.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think most people. Sunday, but then at the same time, I'm usually like not playing catch up, but it'll be from the days before. So Sunday will be all right, but Monday I'll be really busy based off Monday. If Sunday was busy as well, I'd be screwed. Come Monday, Tuesday, I'd be like, right, still getting back to ones from a day ago or 2 days ago. But yeah, it would be actually quite cool to know. But yeah, when you've watched them, like you've used the analogy before, like we're a race car driver. Like if you were to watch something, you would know when something is actually taken there. And like I've got plenty of clients who'll send, and everyone will, like where they'll send you over a clip, and you're like, well, you had loads more. And like, I didn't in the moment.
Even things like even regardless of that though, like I think it's easy to say you had more. But it's more so things like, assessing what was their breathing like? What was their bracing like? You know, because a lot of the time they might be like, well, I didn't have more, or they think that they didn't, but realistically, it's like you're doing 60% of what you could in terms of loading, because your breathing's not good, your bracing's not good, your tempos aren't good.
Yeah,
you're not mentally prepared for the set. So like they think in that set, they think I couldn't have done more in that set. It's like, to be fair, you probably couldn't based on your current execution. But you need to improve these other things to be able to get more out of these sets.
Yeah, you can't be intense. Your intensity can only be as intense as your accuracy. Like you can take a movement to failure, like especially on let's say like a pull down. Like you can take a full pull down to failure, but actually taking it through the musculature that you're trying to aim to take to failure, not like highly likely upon someone whose accuracy is poor. Because you're going to be throwing it around. You're initiating with momentum. Like, or on a press, you're just going to be dropping into it, no eccentric control. You're going to be bouncing out from the bottom and having some like stretch reflex at the bottom, and almost just relying upon that normal sort of movement at the bottom of any press. And then you get to it and you're like, well, that looks like failure, and it is failure, but it's not actually muscular failure, or it's not, let's say, pec failure or lat failure on a pull down, for example. So, yeah, accuracy relevant to intensity. That's what it is.
I'd even say you can't be accurate if you aren't efficient with your breathing or your bracing or your stability through the floor. Like, you know, there's like even more levels to it. So yeah,
we need to make a pyramid. We need to make a pyramid, you know, and like copy and paste off Google, like all some of those coaches do. And they put like the key fundamentals to an effective set. So we need
just copy it off Google and then just put at Finn Kelly Coach on it somewhere. So it looks like I've made it, and then put it on Instagram. Yeah, I guess I'll do that.
Get 12 likes. And then do I'm looking for 5 people who are
I'm looking for 12 people who liked my recent post. Please will you contact me about coaching, please?
Imagine. But literally like a fundamentals, like the first block of the pyramid. What would you? It's so hard to categorize because there is obviously, as you mentioned, like bracing, breathing, like where your feet are, and it's also going to be dependent on the actual exercise itself. Like, you know, on a press, like your feet position is everything. Like that is like if your feet are in the air, unless you're doing a flat bench with your legs elevated, you know, to really activate a bit more chest, because you know you really want to be putting more emphasis on the chest. You know, that's the only exercise where you don't have to be planting your feet. Yeah. Or you're doing, you know, where you do your legs, you do your abs at the same time. Those keep you up, kicky things, you know, that people do. Fantastic movement. That full body.
You don't want your legs planted then. You don't want your legs planted on a leg raise either, like a knee raise, hanging leg raise. You don't want your legs planted there.
No, I'm trying to get more stability.
Oh, yeah.
On my initial consultation,
that's why your abs are shit, because you're just putting your feet on the floor.
Yeah, I'm like, hey mate, I can't do this exercise. I'm really trying to plant my feet into the floor and get stable, but like I really can't raise my knees up. I'm just struggling. And you're like, yeah mate, you know, don't worry about it. It looks all right.
It looks sound. See you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Just to make sure you get a few more reps next week. And I was like, mate, did you get a single rep?
Yeah, I didn't get any reps. Did you even watch it? Yeah. See you next week.
Oh, awful. But yeah. Anything more that we need to touch upon this little rant, or?
I don't think so, mate. You want to talk about your YouTube video that's coming out?
Yeah, can do. You can talk about yours, mate. Have we spoke about your YouTube video since it came out on Sunday?
I don't think so.
We haven't. No, we can speak about both of ours. So episode 1, Finn's an episode ahead of me because Peter was booked when I wanted to do second episode. So Finn's an episode ahead. He's going to be 2 episodes ahead. Finn, you need to slow down. You need to let me catch up.
Because you're uploading on Saturday.
Your second episode is already pretty much ready, and I'm doing my second episode tomorrow, and you've already done 3.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if Pete gets it ready for you for next Saturday, then you're all right.
Yeah, I'll speak to him about it. I'll say I'll pay you a bit extra if you put me ahead of Finn's 3rd video.
Give him a blowjob.
Yeah, a blowjob. I said, Pete, I'll give you a blowjob just right now. Like, you can video it if you want. Don't put it on the YouTube video, mind. Maybe on a different website. But yeah, you can put mine a little bit earlier. Yeah. So your first video, the step up. I still need to think of a name, mate. I genuinely haven't got a name.
Big Cheat.
Big Cheat. The cheating series.
You don't need a name. Like,
yeah, but I feel like it has to have some cliche fucking.
It doesn't have to. I don't like that. Like, I know exactly. Like, I know what you mean. Like, I don't like the fact that I've got a name for mine. But I just thought, like, people tend to buy into a series, and if the series has a name rather than just Finn's YouTube videos that he's doing, you know what I mean? It potentially is going to get more people involved. And I do think as well, like if it has meaning behind it, like if you don't have any meaning behind the name, then just don't have a name for it. Like you don't.
I've got no meaning on videos. I've got no meaning. Just
you know what I mean. You don't need to.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I know. Yeah.
You're just going to call it like Road to Pro or something, aren't you? Just go for it. I hate that as well. I hate it as well, but people will be interested.
Yeah,
that is the annoying thing. Like I know what you mean. It's cliche, and I hate it, and I agree. But people will like it. Has Bear got a gym pin up his ass?
Bear has not got a gym pin up his ass. He's turned around there. He didn't hear Bear. He just heard gym pin. He turned around.
Sorry.
No, don't worry. So yeah, I need to think of some cringy name. So I'll. So now I think like, no missing or something like that. Like
because you do say that, and you do use that as a phrase.
Yeah, maybe.
But then in the first video, you get a 1 rep max, so you kind of missed.
Yeah, I kind of missed. First video I missed already. Imagine. No missing.
This series is over.
This series over. That's it. Done. Yeah. So yeah,
I think that's good. Yeah, call it that.
No missing. Right, there we go. Decided on the podcast. Thanks, Nai. So yeah, that's out Saturday. It's been ready, but I wanted to kind of get it in line with where the next one would be. As I said, I think like you chose a good time on Sunday. I'm tempted to say fuck it, I'm doing the same time, but I thought I'll do Saturday.
Mate, do it.
Me for you, because it kind of makes sense for a shift of content. Because this comes out Monday, yours comes out Sunday, mine comes out Saturday, and it's almost like you have to wait the whole week.
Some midweek.
I know we need to get something out. Like,
well, what we're gonna do. This is what we said, didn't we? What we'll start doing is we'll make this episode. We'll make like the Q&A podcast episodes 1 hour, and then we'll do a half an hour on some topic, and we can class that as like the education episodes, and we can have a education series, and we'll pick a topic each week, and when we finish this, we'll just jump on to another one for half an hour, and then we'll upload that midweek. That's what we'll start doing.
We'll be like, hey mate, oh my god, how you doing? You're right. On the second one,
we can just sort of go straight into it. Like we'll literally be like, stop this one, go, and then we'll have already spoken about what topic we're going to do. What we can do as well is like some of the questions that we get, we'll just go into bigger. We'll just turn them into bigger.
You had a good question you mentioned, didn't you? I can't remember what it was, but you got a good one that
the guy asked me if we could cover. Like he said that I don't know if you want to do recommendations for like full episodes, but if you want to cover how to coach yourself, like how do you do it, you know, what are the best ways of doing it, how do you manage it, etc. So we'll do that as
more food, no matter what the outcome is. More food. Anything bad happens, more food. Stressed, just have more food, it'll chill you out, mate. Trust me.
Push up 300 pounds, that's the goal.
More food.
I know we'll do like some questions from what people have asked, but also like if we just want to chat about a certain topic, we can go into it for half an hour, and it might not be the most like I don't want to bring a presentation PowerPoint. Exactly. It's gonna still be the same kind of the same kind of sort of structure to these where we chat about something, but this is this episode's topic for half an hour. We'll start doing that. We'll do that from next week.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to be doing a presentation like where we bring like I want to have some ideas beforehand where we can be like, okay, cool, this is what we mentioned, but I still want it to be informative, because again, I just don't think it doesn't lead to like, unless you were literally sat there trying to write notes, I don't think it leads to like good retention. And then if you miss 2 minutes because you see something come through on your phone, you're like, oh, let me like, and in reality, like I feel like with this, you can just kind of zone out and just listen to us chat, and you can be like, okay, cool, that was a good episode, or that was pretty shit.
Yeah, I think you can make it sound like really robotic if we've got notes written down, and if it's all like, I'd rather just chat and share our knowledge in the same way that we do now, but on specific topics for each episode.
Yeah, so no, that's it. But in general, mate, how's your week been? I always seem to ask how the week's been. So how's your week been? Anything to report? Anything special that's happened?
Not that I can think of.
Fuck all.
It's been a good week. Me and Shannon went on Sunday to look at a housing estate in Derby where we're looking to maybe get a house. I don't know whether the one that we want is available. So yeah, that's
it might help if it's available.
I'm not going to go into it all because
that's quite a nice house. I'd like to live in that.
Knock on their door.
Knock on the door. Excuse me. I'd really like your house.
Are you selling
it? They'll go, yeah.
No, it's not like that, but I'm not going to go into details because it'll be too, I can't bother to go into it. So yeah, that was good.
I think you mentioned it a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, it depends. It doesn't matter.
Touchy subject. Finn doesn't want to talk about it.
No, it's just a ball ache. Like, I'm not going to go into
no,
the
I
fact
don't
that
it will take like
some
10 minutes
houses are a leasehold and some houses are a freehold and the differences and shit. But yeah, other than that, it's been a decent week. My back's playing up a little bit more than I'd like. I think because of the dumbbell press, the high incline dumbbells. My back is the worst it's been in months. And it's, I think, related to the fact that I have added dumbbells back in. So I either keep being stubborn and keep trying to do them, or I be smart and take them out.
But what for, mate? This is the issue. You know, there's not that much pressing available.
Yeah, I don't do a high incline Smith though. I know you, and like I wouldn't, mate. You can carry on doing the dumbbells. I'll do the high incline Smith because it's just not. It's not benefiting me doing the dumbbells. Like I said, they feel like I'm pressing like balloons. Like that's how unstable my scap feels. Dumbbell presses haven't felt good since I've had this issue with my back. So it's just, it's frustrating. But like I say, it's one of them. I can either keep trying to run with it and then just it starting to impact my other training now, which is the issue. Like I've been fine doing a dumbbell RDL for the past however many months. The other day I couldn't pick up the 50. I picked it up and it was like a horrendous pain in my back and I had to drop it down quickly. I'm not going to keep doing what I think is causing that. And I think it is the dumbbells because it's flared up more recently when I've only had them in for 3 weeks. Yeah. And if you think about it, like I said to you the other day, I've got the issue that I have is scapular instability on the left side. So doing a movement that requires so much scapular stability, like a high incline dumbbell press, probably isn't the best idea.
Yeah, it's probably not as well.
And like I even said as well, like I finished the set and it's like, I don't feel like I've trained. I don't feel like I've got anything out of that set because I feel, like I said, the weight's not, it doesn't feel heavy, but I just die out because I've got, my stability is so poor through that left side. So it is frustrating. So yeah, that's something I'm going to sort. Huh?
In the 50s, weight isn't heavy. You're only doing the 50s, so you know.
Yeah, but
maybe
if you mean like the 50s don't feel.
Like,
the 50s don't feel heavy. They feel like I kick them up. They feel hard to kick up because I'm out of practice of doing that. But then once they're here, like they move easily. Like we looked at my set the other day and like the first 4 reps, it was like, how would I only got 6 there? Like I should be a 10 plus easily. But it just feels so alien-like. And I feel like I say, I don't feel like I can stabilize it. And I don't think it's worth continuing to try and do it when it is. If it wasn't impacting my other training, I'd be like, right, I'm happy with these. I just need to keep getting better at them. But I don't think it's a case of that. I think it's more so, right, I need to really sort out my shoulder. And this is actually making it worse. Or sort out my scap issue.
Yeah, makes sense. Me, nothing to really report. 118 kilos as of this morning, which is pretty heavy. Like 259.6 pounds. So about 6 kilos up from like my previous. Quite happy with how everything is, to be fair. Train's in a good spot. Composition seems to be holding on. And there's like, it's just literally the same old. There's nothing. You get to a point, we said it literally, I think every week now, there's not really major updates. It's literally just eating, getting stronger, and pretty much go from there. So yeah, no major complaints. I got 300, so my powerlifting is carrying on the deadlift. That'll be, I want 4 because we both said, looking at the last clip, didn't we? You know, the last time that we did, the time I deadlifted on Saturday, we both were like, looked like a third was there.
Bottled it.
So I reckon 4, bottled it. I reckon 4 will be there on Saturday. That's the goal. And then hopefully get that for a 5, or maybe just shoot straight up to like 305 to 310. We'll see. I want to pull 8 plates, even if it's for a single, but we'll see. That's the long-term goal. Maybe the back end of this year, 8 plates. But for now, 305. And I sent over to a client because he was asking me all about, you know, like how we got asked this on Saturday, you know, the numbers wise, what like my thought processes, and we're just like, we're just rotating between like different numbers for a back off, going for different reps. I think I said like, these are my goals because I had them written down. I think it was like 180 for 30, 200 for 25, 220 for 20, 240 for 15, 260 for 10, 300 for 5, and 340 for like 1 or 2. I think that was actually spot on if I remember correctly. And to be fair, I'm not too far off. I want 6 plates for 10. That would be good. So that's 260 for 10. And I got 250 for 11. So I think that's probably doable in the next week or two. So I reckon what I'll most likely do is I'll probably build the 300 kilo up to like a decent repper, like probably like a 5 repper, which will be enough to, and then I'll probably, on that session, I get that for 5 reps, I'll probably do 260 and have that. Or I might just open up if, let's say, one day I'm a bit like, and it's on like a devolume or a deload, I'll be like, right, 260 next time. And I'll go from there. But yeah, some good hinge numbers and just enjoying kind of the basics. I think I never fall out of love with training. It's the one thing. Like, you could just put me in a gym and I could be like, cool, I'll train for the next 5 years and I'll be happy if I can get stronger. So yeah, that's that. Do you want to get into the questions, mate?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I got that many because I didn't put mine up till like later on.
People were waking up going, oh my God, Finn hasn't put up a question box.
I got so many messages. Got so many messages saying, "Where's the question box for the podcast?"
I got a good question that we've got to open up with. All right. How many shits do you reckon you do a week on average? Good question, this. I think why per week?
Mate, it depends. I shit myself about 8 times on a Saturday doing deadlifts.
Mate, you did 20 reps to back off. You said you shut yourself every rep, more than 8. It was more like 25. Finn's exact words were, mate, I'm going to have to go down to the toilet to wipe my ass again after the 12th set. And then he comes over to me, he's like, how long do you reckon you'll be? And I go, about 2-3 minutes. And he's like, cool, should go to the toilet. And I was like, why? He goes, wipe my ass.
I don't know. I just, like, when I'm bracing as hard as I physically can, like, because the thing is, it's weird. Like, on the hack squat, I don't. On the leg press, I don't. I'm absolutely sound. It's just something about deadlifts. They just scare the shit out of me, like, literally, mate.
Literally. No pun intended. Pun intended.
I'd say usually I go once to twice a day. So what? Anywhere between 7 and 14. I'd say probably like the higher end of that, which isn't bad at all for the amount of food that I'm on.
Yeah, no, it's not too bad. I'd say me like once a day. It's like, yeah, once a day pretty much. I'm weird. Like, whenever I diet, I had to have, I was checking all my macros as well. And I go from stages of like going to the toilet every day. And then it would be like once every like 5 days when food's low. And I'm like, I'm not even eating, like, literally everything's in line. I've always been like a less frequent toilet tripper, should we say, when it comes to the poo kind. But in a gaining phase, yeah, from food's high, probably once a day. That'd be a good one. So 7, I'd say maybe 8. It'll probably, yeah, I'd say 1 day per week I go twice. And yeah, that's that. So that's Dan asking, how many shits do you reckon you do a week on average? We should put up a question box, like, you know, if we did on Spotify, do you shit more than 7 times per week or 10 times per week, and like any others? And someone writes like 25 times or 40 times, 3 a day, 4 a day. What would you say if you had a client said, like, I go to the toilet 3 times a day? What would you be saying? Or 4 times? What would you say is excessive? So I think 1 to 2 is normal. I think 3 is a bit like,
I say once every other day to twice a day is the range that I want people to be.
Yeah.
So if it's less than,
like, I need you to be honest with me here, mate. How many times a day are you shitting right now?
So if it's less than that or more than that, generally we'll discuss it, because it's one of the questions in terms of like digestion, bowel movements, etc. So yeah, if it's less than that or more than that, then generally it's something that we'll look into, and we'll look at fiber content. We'll look at maybe, you know, getting a fiber supplement and things like that. Because even if it is more than that, often when people are going to the toilet more, it can still be lack of fiber, or it can be too much fiber. So it's sort of trying to, you know, find out what is going to be best for them. But there's so many things that come into it. It's not just fiber or food intake. It's things like stress and, you know, even down to things like the quality of your food, and there's loads of things.
Yeah, no, definitely. I noticed that prep, like, if I was more so stressed, like, I would usually not go to the toilet the following morning. And it was weird because, like, on all shows, I went to the toilet fine the morning of, and I was like, sound. It's probably because, like, you know, you chilled out in the evening. But like, if I had a busy day and I didn't chill out in the evenings, I'd wake up the following day and it would be like I just couldn't go. And then it would annoy me because my weigh-in would be like subjective or based off literally the fact I couldn't go to the toilet. So I'd be like, motherfucker, I'm going to be heavier today. And, you know, when you're in a prep, you almost get those little kicks about seeing like 0.2 of a kilo come off. You're like, oh, that's cool. So when that didn't happen, I'd be like, I don't get my serotonin boost. I need a shit. So I'd got my cardio even more depressed than usual. I'd be like, yes. 4 hours until my first meal, and I've got to do an hour's worth of cardio and 8,000 steps. This is lovely. So Right. Do you want to go, mate? Did you get many? Did you check or not? I got a fair few.
Yeah, I got a few. So this is from Paul Martin. Thank you for the question, Paul. So he's broken it into 3 questions, but it's basically one. It's 3 boxes. So it's basically, from our experience and knowledge, do we think that like cold water, cold air therapy, so things like cryotherapy chambers, do we think they are beneficial to recovery?
I think it can provide some benefit. Are they needed? No. Like, if I'm honest, I'm not actually I'm for it in a short-term setting. So like, I think there's like some benefits, and there will be benefits from a long-term standpoint, but I almost think it's just a bit of a quirk, if I'm being completely honest. I think it's just like, do this, it's cool. And it's like, not actually, like, it's cool. It's different. Yeah, it's literally cool. It's fucking freezing. And it's like, I personally, I wouldn't be saying to a client, "Oh, go book yourself in, get yourself some cryo." I think there are some benefits, but I more so think it's almost a bit of a service that you pay for as an experience, and it's something that has a few benefits, but it's almost a package that you pay for, and it's a bit of not a sales like marketing tag, but I don't think there's much efficacy regarding cryo and long-term benefits, if I'm being completely honest. Like there's some short, it's hard to explain.
I think there's more evidence behind hot and cold therapy. So
using them in conjunction and like flipping between within like a certain practice of the physio, and likewise like injury prevention.
Even then, it's not going to be life-changing. Like, it's not going to be crazy, the results that you get from it. You're probably going to feel quite a bit fresher come the end of it. That's about it. Like, to be fair, I like the cryo chamber because when you get out, you feel like really awake. You feel like really fresh, don't you? So short term, like I feel there's a benefit there, and I like how I feel after it. In terms of long-term benefits or even medium-term, how do I feel over the next few days? I wouldn't notice that I've used it.
No.
Likewise, when I've done hot and cold, same kind of thing.
I don't notice anything with sleep. Like, the Aaron's they say like there's benefits from sleep as well. Yeah. I just think literally I feel really awake afterwards, and I feel quite sensitive to my surroundings. So when I go outside, I'm like, oh, fucking, that's bright.
Yeah, I just feel a bit like you feel alert, don't you? After.
Yes. Yeah. You just feel like you've kind of necked like 2 grams worth of caffeine, and you're like, oh god.
You just feel like, you feel like sort of hyped up for a few minutes because you've been freezing, and your body's then like responding to that.
I wouldn't even know if it's an adrenaline response. I guess maybe. I'd guess potentially.
I think it is to an extent. But
is it more like a fight or flight sort of response where your body panics and then you kind of switch into like this is die here?
The thing is, like, your brain's in control of that, and we know that we're going in for 3 minutes. We know that we're not going in there for potentially to die. Like, if we were to fall into a lake,
shock the body, bro,
accidentally. Yeah, I think it's more so just a case of sort of things like vasodilation or vasoconstriction when you get in there, and in terms of blood vessels, and then obviously vasodilating when you get out, and same with when you go into if you were to do hot and cold and things like that. It's generally in terms of sort of blood flow and things like that. But yeah, it doesn't, for me anyway, it wouldn't be something at the top of my list in terms of recovery.
No. So you're telling me you don't get up at 4 a.m. to jump in a ice cold shower like I do, and then get cracking on with my work?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, no wonder you're so sluggish and lethargic, mate. And you're saying like, just so tired, mate. I'm up at 4 a.m.
How come you don't post about it?
Oh, I try not to brag, Really? I just brag on the podcast. At 4 a.m, I straight in the ice bath, an ice shower, and then I crack on with fasted cardio, go to the gym, make sure I'm there before 4:30, before it even opens, and I was like, first one in the gym, and before the owner gets there, and then I go home and just go back to bed and sleep all day. Yeah. It's fine. So I think it's quite good that we both agree in that. Like I said to you, like, there's short-term benefits, but long-term, I'm not really a massive fan. But give it a go, Paul. Give it a go. See what you think.
Yeah, go then.
Right. Assuming top goal / dream, Olympia win, how many years off your life would you trade? Well, I'm probably going to die before 30, mate, at this rate. So, probably, 50 years? Yeah, I'm such a big cheat. So many milligrams right now, I doubt I'll even see 30. So, 50 years. No, in the grand scheme of things, I don't really know.
I don't even know what the question. What was the question?
Assuming top goal / dream. So what my top goal is, I'm guessing it's to me, or maybe you. Like, how many years would you sacrifice off your life? I don't think that's actually PD related. I think that's more so, like, if I was to say to you, what's your number one goal? And this is the thing, my number one goal. I've got a good answer for this. Okay, go for it. Tell me.
Do you feel like you're sacrificing your life now?
No.
Exactly. So it's not a sacrifice, is it?
What do you mean? Like,
so this guy said, how many years would you sacrifice off of your life to hit a certain goal?
Yeah.
Right now, doing what we're doing what you're doing, you enjoy it. So it's not a sacrifice, is it?
No, definitely not.
So doesn't really matter? You know what I mean? Is he saying, right, you've got to, for example, you would die at 80 versus 70? Like, is he saying it like that? Or is he saying, like, now?
I don't know. It's more like, how many years of your life would you trade? So, like, first I'd have to know
how many years would you trade? Okay.
Yeah, so, like, how many years would I live for? And I've always been of the camp, and I absolutely hate I'm here for a good time, not a long time camp. I think it's so cringy. I think it's absolutely awful. And again, I think it's almost, in bodybuilding, I think it's horrendous because people say that as an excuse to do stupid fucking shit. And that's not even in bodybuilding, that's in all aspects
like
of life.
Dumbbell RDLs.
Yes, Dumbbell RDLs. You do them, fucking hell, you're not making it past 30. You'll be like me, dead before 30. God, touch wood, hope that doesn't happen. That'd be weird if it did. But anyway, I'd have to know how long I'm living for. And then I'd also want to know what my top goal is, because I don't wake up every day and I'm like, I can't wait to turn pro. Can't wait to do this. I wake up and I'm just like, I really like my life. I really like what I'm doing. Like, there's not really one set goal. You know, like, you know, I don't think I get that much enjoyment out of it. Like, I genuinely think I'd be like, oh, sound cool. I put in a lot of fucking work into this. I should be here. Like, that's almost how I'd view it as, you know. It would be the same as, like, and this isn't a bad thing, like, people when they win their pro cards and they break down in tears. Fair enough if your response is emotional, but I genuinely will be like, this is mint, cool. Now what's next? Like, I don't think I'll be fucking sat there crying. I might be. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. People respond to things differently, but I'd just be like, cool, I put a lot of time into this. Like, I'll probably be 12 years, like, 11 years into training. Like, I'd imagine, like, I should be good.
Imagine if from next year you were trying to get your pro card and it took you 10 years of doing everything in your power to get it. You probably, at the end of it, you'd be like, fucking hell, that's a relief. And you probably would be emotional. But
can I be honest though? I don't think personally for me, I'd be taking 10 years, not off anything other than, I think I'd realise after probably 3, I'd be like, this is probably not for me. Like, I'm probably not that good, you know? And like, you could get unlucky every single time, but I'd almost question, like, is it really worth it then? Because you will be pushing a lot of drugs, you'll be doing things that are not good for your health. And then I would question, would I actually be waking up going, I enjoy my life, I like what I'm doing? Or would I be waking up thinking, fuck, I'm just chasing something? Yeah, like, I'd question
waking up thinking, like, phew, thank God, another day.
Lucky I saw today. No, like, I don't think that'd be a good thought process. So, like, again, it makes sense, but I think, like, I'd be real enough to know if it was 10 years in, I'd just be like, Reece, mate, this isn't for you. And like, it would be how it is, you know. Fortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it would at all.
I do think though, like,
you know,
I think it depends on so many things, because, like, if someone said to me, like, right, you could live to 90 or live to 70. If you live to 70, you'll be, like, let's say, an Olympia champion, or you'll be one of the most successful coaches, or you'll earn billions and live in a dream house or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, things like that, like, whatever you're driven by.
Yeah.
I'd almost have to think, well, what would my life be like between 70 and 90? If I'm crippled and I haven't got any family, like, obviously I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll choose the 70 version, please. I'll choose the 70 life. But if between 70 and 90, I'm really fit and healthy and I've got loads of family around me, I've got, you know, grandkids and nieces and nephews and things like that, you know what I mean? It's like, then it's a bit different, because you might love those last 20 years. They could be the best 20 years of your life. You don't know.
I don't think, like, I personally,
you don't know, mate.
No, I think I'd enjoy my life a lot more when I'm physically able, and like.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, imagine between 70 and 90, you are pretty physically able. Like, there's some people that at 90 that could easily still go and train to a decent.
Derek's like 7. I think he's like 77.
Exactly.
You know?
He's putting gym pins on dogs' asses all the time, so he's all right.
He loves gym pins, and he loves looking like Sanaya on that painting that we found. Do you remember that? Derek, I found this painting. And he was like, oh, it was of me. And I was like, you?
It looks like a girl.
Basically, I found a painting of my granddad in the gym that we trained at. Like, basically, we had a shed during lockdown, and we found, like, we were clearing it out to get some more room, weren't we? To, like, put something, I think it was like the cable machine. And we found this painting, and we both were like, this looks a bit like Sanaya. And I said to Derek, I found this painting. I don't know what it is. And he goes, oh, that was of me. And it was when he was like 20 and he had really long hair. I was just like, oh, okay, there you go. See you later. Bye. Fantastic.
Weird.
My girlfriend looks like my granddad.
He does, actually.
So similar. So it is. So yeah. No, I don't know. It would really depend. Let's just give a vague answer. You know, would you, if you were to say your top goals, so all your goals, mate, top coach, top, let's say, pro natural bodybuilder, everything like that. If you were to, let's say, get to 90, how many years would you sacrifice? Would you say, you know what, kill me off at 70? Or would you say, no, I want to make it to 90 and I don't want those goals?
I think you would be like happy to sacrifice that amount of time, but again, like I say, it depends on what your life is like at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's difficult because, like I said, you never know. You might be in a really happy place at that time of your life where you've earned, like, for example, you could have earned loads of money. You're just chilling, doing whatever you want to do, going on loads of holidays, playing golf with your old buddies. You might be loving it. You know what I mean? But I think imagining what most people's lives are like between 70 and 90, then yeah, you'd sacrifice it, wouldn't you? Which is quite scary because that's like saying sacrifice. You've only been alive for 23 years. I've only been alive for 24. That's like pretty much saying sacrifice what we've already done. Like, I know it wouldn't be.
We've only really been conscious for the last like 15, if you think about it.
You've been for the past, what, 6 months?
3, 4, maybe 3 or 4. Yeah. But like nobody, like, you don't remember what you're doing when you were 8. Like, you know what I mean? You're not going to dictate like much of your life decisions at 8. I remember like from 10, I was like, right, I was actually fairly switched on. I wasn't an idiot, you know. Where like at 10, you were probably still like licking door handles and just going around smashing your head again.
I've always said this. I feel like when I was a kid, I had the same brain that I do now. I remember feeling. I felt like.
Dogs.
Huh?
Jumping in dogs.
Jumping in dogs.
Knock a door running your teachers. Fair enough, man.
No, I felt like I don't know. I always felt quite mature for my age. Like I remember, like I said, I remember being at school and like I'd speak to the teachers would like shout at me and I'd be like, "You shouldn't really be speaking to me like that." Like most kids would be crying and run off.
Oh, I always laughed. I found it. I was always the weird. Like I'd find it quite funny, and then I'd get in more trouble.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever cried when I got shouted at. Yeah, I'd just be like, God, you're making yourself look like a right top. Like, fair enough. Imagine you just turned around, you're looking like a right. I've got to say, excuse me, mister, you're looking like a right bellend right now. Like you're embarrassing yourself. I'll let you carry on, but you're looking like a twat.
Just so you know. Right.
Just I'd let you.
This is from Pearson. He says, "Do you think Sebum's ligma will affect his chances at the O in 2023?"
Sebum's ligma. I got a question similar, you know. Miles Mason, mate, this must be something. So, thoughts on Sebum having ligma? Do you think it'll affect his shot, his 4th O?
So, I think ligma, I think it's a fake thing. So they've spoke to each other and gone, should we ask this question? I've put in ligma.
Do you know what ligma means?
Ligma, know your me.
They say like ligma dick or something like that. You say something like, what's ligma? And they go, ligma balls or something, ligma dick.
Is that what it is? Because it says on here, ligma is a fictional disease.
No, it's not, mate. It's basically like you say, what's ligma? And they'll be like, ligma balls, ligma dick. Whatever. That's what it is. And I was like, you'll see me. I was playing along with it, and because I spoke to Miles, and I was like, I'm gonna get Finn with this. No chance he's switched on enough to know. And then I like started like when you were googling, I started laughing. I was like, right, I can't carry on. I was gonna play along.
Yeah, but they didn't put. If they'd have put, do you think Sebum's ligma dick will affect his chances? I'd have found it funny, but it just says ligma. if you'd have gone, if I'd have gone, what's ligma, and then you said it, that'd have been good.
Yeah.
Exactly. I've googled it. It says know your mean.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you don't know what ligma is, and you'd be like, "What's ligma?" Like ligma balls.
Yeah, that's what you should have done.
But you already said it. So I was
Sebum has got an illness though, hasn't he?
Yeah, got I think is it digestive illness or
He's
something?
got like an autoimmune disease.
Oh, that's what it is.
It's not funny, guys. Taking the piss out of him, it's not funny.
Look, just because we share every single one of his posts on our story, like, please, can you stop? Like, Sebum's an idol and a god, and everyone should respect him, all right? Like, I share every single one of his posts on my story. Stop fucking joking about Sigma's ligma. Sigma's ligma. Sebum's ligma. Sigma's ligma. Ligma's Sebum. No. Right. Woody's fitness. Big Wood. Do you remember Big Wood?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Even if chest doesn't need development, could you increase volume if recovery is good? Would this be beneficial? What? So Woody's chest, I'm guessing, is just fucking massive. He's got a juicy pair of double Ds, and he's thinking, you know what? Do I need more volume? Like, I almost think, again, we spoke about this with a bucket and a glass, and you can only fit so much in from a recovery standpoint. But I would question, if you can get away with doing a bit more, why wouldn't you want to make your chest a little bit better? But if you're, as a result of that, not recovering elsewhere, you potentially want to prioritize the areas that probably need a little bit of work. So you could almost have your chest on a back burner and maybe only have that a certain amount of volume that you can recover from easily. And then you can almost fill that bucket with more back or more, let's say, more arm work or more leg work, etc. But I would say you most likely could probably experiment with pushing volume up and see if you get even greater results for your chest and see if everywhere else still recovers. And you should be pretty good to go from there.
Yeah, I generally think you need to assess where your strengths and your weaknesses are. Like, obviously, we both say, like, ultimately, you need more muscle. Like, and Woody will know he needs more muscle everywhere. But
yeah, that's why he sacked me. Told him every week for like
this guy's not getting more muscle. Yeah, you can. If you go in with that thought process and you just do the same volume across every body part, you're potentially just going to end up with the same issues over time. So if you're trained, like, let's say you've been training for 2 years and your chest is a massive weakness, but everything else is growing, should you just keep doing what you're doing because you need more muscle everywhere? No, you need to obviously place more focus on your chest. Does that mean that you then probably pull down some volume from elsewhere? Probably. Or you might be in a position where you can actually just get away with doing chest maybe more frequently or with more volume while keeping everything else the same. Depends on strength levels, recovery capabilities, how well you're managing your stress, sleep, etc. All these kind of things that come into it. So yeah, I would say for most people, in terms of where your volume wants to be, base it on your strengths and your weaknesses, but also base it on what can you actually recover from and what can you keep progressing on. There's no point just adding more and more sets when the set quality is just getting worse and you're not progressing.
Yeah, no, exactly. So like anything, it really depends on the individual. And because Woody, neither of us coach you anymore, we can't tell you otherwise. However, like I said, it wouldn't be a bad thing to trial. But to be fair, Woody, based off what I know, I think you should be prioritizing probably generally training intensity as usual, which is good. Like, you're a lot better. And then I also think probably a bit more back work, and then also probably a bit more hams. So more posterior focus, I'd say, for our Big Wood. That's for definite.
This is from Big Ped.
Big Ped? Big Wood. Straight to Big Ped.
Favourite, probably the most dedicated podcast listener, Big Ped.
And he's not even English as his first language. So, like, that's a true commitment.
And he asks lots of questions, bless him. But he's a good
I wonder if he understands. He must understand English well. Or do you reckon
he can type in it, can't he? Like, he can understand it well, easily.
Should we learn a bit of Italian for him?
Is he Italian?
Yeah. I think he's Italian.
I don't know where you've got that.
I had him in my head that he's Italian.
I don't know.
I'll
go on his page. Oh yeah, Italy, 28. He's Italian and he's 28 years old. That's what that means. Italy, 28.
Good thing you didn't talk to us in the summer, Ped. We hated the Italians.
Yeah.
Me and Finn didn't use any Panatta kit for like 6 months because you beat us in the Euro final. Fuck Italy. That's what we were like.
That's why we left Progress Works. Too much Panatta. Couldn't deal with it.
Yeah. No, we moved straight to warehouse. Watson. That's what we wanted. Up the Brits. It's absolute shit either way. But fuck it.
Right, he's asked, where did you find info? I'll just try and break this down. Basically, where did you find information to start online coaching? Which questions asking in check-in, things like that. At the beginning of online coaching, he says he wants to start doing it. He doesn't know what kind of systems to use, basically. So he's basically saying, like, how did you learn that? What kind of systems are going to be best to use if he wants to start online coaching?
Yeah, well, mate, we both started, didn't we? We'll take it like step by step. We both started on like PowerPoint and Word, didn't we?
I remember that the first program, if you can call it that I ever sent out to someone was, I'm pretty sure it was just on Pages on Apple, which is like Word, basically. Yeah. And obviously, you can add tables in and things like that. And that's what I did.
I had that. I had Pages, I think, and it literally had the tables, and it went like exercises across the top, sets and reps, and it had like just one box for numbers that you can put in, and it was like 3 by 12, 2 by 20.
Mine was like trying to teach them absolutely everything. So it was like everything you need to know about nutrition, everything you need to know about sleep, and this is before I knew anywhere near as much as I do now. But it was like, here's a whole big massive plan. It was like an encyclopedia of fitness that I thought they needed, and ultimately, like I say, it wasn't anywhere near as much knowledge as I have now, and I was doing all that for free as well. So it was like I'd do that, and then I'd obviously have it saved, but then I'd do a whole new one for the next client based on them, and then a whole new one for the next person. But again, these were all just people that I was working like when I was working with them, or there were people that I knew from uni. Like that was what, ages ago. Like
I remember I was doing
5 years ago, I'd say.
Yeah, similar time to me. About 5 years ago, I'd probably say I was like doing stuff for people in the gym, writing training plans, like nutrition plans, etc. I then remember like one of my ex-girlfriends came up to me and was like, "Hey, can I have a like?" She came up to me and she's like, "Reece, can I have a word?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." She was like, "Hey, can you write me a no?" She was like, "Can I write you a training? Can you write me a training plan?" Oh no! No, it was Sophie. Yeah, the only ex I mentioned.
One of my ex-girlfriends.
I was walking out. No, it wasn't my. I just the only one that I can't mention because it's the only one that I actually have stories from. Everyone else I don't mention.
Just say,
but yeah,
she's my ex. She's the only one, mate. It's fine. You don't have to pretend you've had loads of girlfriends.
It's the thing. I could name all of them, and you'd be like, "Oh fucking hell, yeah, top shagger Reece." That's what it was. Sorry, mate, top shagger you. Anyway, Sophie came up to me. I'm leaving. Like this. I don't know. Like I'm leaving the hall at Loughborough. Like the basketball hall. I'm leaving there, and I'm like walking out, and she's like, "Reece, can I have a word?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Can you write me a training plan?" And I was like, "Yeah, sound. How many times a week do you want to train?" And she was like, 4. And I was like, "All right, cool." That was it. It was a weird conversation. Like essentially, that was my consultation. I was like, "How many times a week you want to train?" 4. Yep, sound. Still listen.
That's everything I need to know.
Everything I need to know. See you later. I think I just pinged it over to her on email. That was it. Like it was literally, and I remember writing that down. That was on Pages. And then I think it was like the summer where we started training. I've said this before, but it was when I got like very, very lean to go on holiday. And I remember I got asked, like, I put up a photo of me like flexing in the mirror at like a Pure Gym, and people would like mess me, like, "Hey mate," this because I wasn't in bad shape to begin with, but I was probably like a few kilos off stage condition, like just to go on holiday. And I was like, "Oh, people are asking," and I my training clips up for years and years and years prior to that. So I was like, right, well, there's clearly an interest. So I started doing like, I think I did a training plan and a nutrition plan, and they were like £25 each. Or I did online coaching, which was basically just like support throughout the training plan for like 50 quid. No, I think it was 30 quid each for the training plan and nutrition plan. So that was 60. But I was like, but if you sign up for this, it's more, but you get more out of it. So it was like, businessship. I basically signed up to a business mentor initially. I didn't, but it was in my head at like 18, 19. I was like, this is going to be the next stop to stardom when it comes to coaching. In reality, it kind of got me a bit of experience, coached a few people here or there, and I trained, like gave a few training plans, and you almost kind of get your feet wet, wouldn't you say? Like you were probably doing the same, kind of like you were doing it, and then I took on a few free clients a few months. So I'll let you talk now. So that was like my initial impression, and then I kind of held off, started promoting my coaching for like just to get a few free clients and get some content in. Do you want to go? What was your next step after Pages? What were you doing?
Thanks, mate. Thanks for letting me talk.
Cheers, mate. No worries.
Cheers for that.
No, it's fine.
So yeah, I was doing that like while I was at uni. Then I went and did PT course, and then I started PTing pretty much straight away. So I wasn't doing any like online coaching alongside that, but I did have, like at this point, I'd sort of learned about having some form of coaching sheets to help with my clients. So I had, like, to be fair, at this point, they didn't have access to the sheets, but I just had all my clients in different folders on Google Sheets at this point. So they had like a training program, and that was it basically in there. So I could go on to that. That was probably 6 months to a year though, after I started PTing, because before that I was just doing it on paper. So I'd have like a clipboard and paper for everybody's sessions. Like, and obviously I'd like printed out sheets and stuff that had all the session plans in. But yeah, like soon after I was like, this is a ball ache. So I just put it all online. But that sort of time, that sort of process of learning that, okay, this isn't working that well.
Yeah, like
it's part of it. It's how you adapt, and it's how you end up finding your best way of doing it. Like some coaches just use WhatsApp. Some use apps like True Coach or whatever else. There's other ones, like, and that's fine. Like if that works for them, if that helps them be the best coach that they can be for their clients, and if that helps their clients, then that's absolutely fine. So it just depends on what works for you. I had a client asking about it today in the check-in, and I was basically saying the same thing. I was like, just basically start promoting yourself, post as much as you can, start, posting your own journey, post some educational content, then start posting that you're looking to take on some online clients, and then just work it out as you go. Yeah. You're not going to be charging a premium price because you're new to it. So people are going to understand that you're learning on the job basically at the start. Yeah. It's like any job. You have to learn on the job. You have to get experience. It's like if you were to go to a job interview, they'll say to you, oh, you need more experience. Yeah, most of the time. And then people are like, oh, but how do I get more experience? Like, obviously, if it's coaching, or if it's online coaching, it's just a case of just do it. Yeah, help people, help your mates, message your friends and say like, right, lads, I can one or two of you at least, I'll get you lean for a holiday. Yeah, whatever it may be. Like most people are going to want a bit of help at some point, and if it's for free, then they're probably going to bite your hand off and be like, oh, amazing. And then you've got some content, like you say, and then all you've got to do really is say to them.
That's what I promoted at the start. I said to people, like, literally tag me in stories. I was like, the first few clients that I got on that were like really, really cheap or free, I was like, all I want is story tags. I want content. And I want, like, if you're going to the gym, take a photo in the mirror or take a photo of your Apple Watch and how many calories you burn. I was like, that's what I want, because that's going to correlate to them tagging and going, oh, he's tagged Reece. I wonder what Reece is doing. Oh, Reece is training this person that I know, or 5 people that I know. And it was in the process. I remember like December of 2019, I spent like the whole month going through my sheets, getting everything set up. And I remember like over the Christmas break, I was like, literally, my mum was like, you're on those sheets, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, well, I'm just seeing, like, I'm promoting myself for the new year. I'm just going to see, like, if I get a few clients, they can have like the best service possible. And then come January, got like 5 clients. Come Feb, another 3. Come March, another 4. And I remember, like, I was refreshing my phone once. I think I was like driving, and I stopped and I looked at my messages. I had 2 messages that were like people that wanted to start, and I was like, how the heck, like, who are these? Like, I didn't even know who they were. I didn't know who followed me, but they were like, oh, I've seen the progress that you made with my mate here. This is mint. And I was like, God, this is really becoming something. And then the lockdown happened.
Develops from there, doesn't it?
Well, the lockdown happened, and that's when I felt like, even though it was a step back in the time, because I think I probably had like 12, 13 clients, I could probably, if that dropped down to maybe like 6 or 7, it meant that, like, I became a lot more efficient. My time management was better, my routine was better, and I feel like in a sense, because we both carried on with training, we both carried on with promoting coaching. I remember saying to you, like, oh, I put 1 story up a day of coaching, and you were like, that's a good idea, I need to do that, I'm gonna start doing that. And this is when, like, we probably just only post our training clips, and then you were posting stuff, and it was more so like we were both building off each other's ideas and what we were doing. And then, like I said, it just built from there, where like it wasn't perfect to initiate. Like if I was to have a client come back to me, like who started with me 2 and a bit years ago, they go, fucking hell, this is totally different. Like it's completely different service. Yeah. And I have a few clients who have literally stayed with me throughout that whole process. Like I got a message from Ant, so he's my longest serving client, and he was like, mate, it's mental. I used to see you send you check-in videos through at like midnight, like when I do all my check-ins on one day, and I just start them at like 9 p.m. and finish at like 11 or midnight or whatever, like 11 p.m. And he was like, I used to get your message come through the morning of, you'd be in Leeds, like swinging around on a gaming chair behind you, and it would be like a voice note, or it would be like a quick video. And now it's like it's like a professional system. You go through them all, like, you know what I mean? It's completely different of a system and service. And again, like you're not going to, and this is what I always try and say to people who try and message me, or like clients or whatever, when they talk to me about it, you shouldn't try and replicate the people who have got to the positions that you want to get to. You should enjoy your own journey and embrace where you're starting off, and know that you're not going to be the best. You're not going to have the most knowledge, but you're going to have to enjoy it and build yourself up. And I feel like a lot of people try and look at the sheets. They look at Loom, Screencast. They think, okay, if I start on this, if I start on that, and it's all well and good to start on the best service possible, but you need to learn your craft, and that's only going to take time. And you might as well learn as you go throughout the process. So get started. Start coaching, and eventually it'll build up to where one day, a year from now, 2 years from now, Ped is the number one Italian Instagram coach. That's what it's going to be.
What, is he just coaching Instagram? Coaching people on Instagram?
Who's Italian? You're not Italian? No, he's going to have the Marco Verratti. You know, he's only like 65 kilos. He'll be up to 85 soon with Ped.
Jacked.
Yeah.
No, it is. It is about finding your own way, basically. I think it's easy to be, like you say, sort of more so focused on where you want to be than where you are. So like a couple of years back, like even now, like we can still look at where we want to be, but we've got to be realistic and think, right, we're not there yet. So why would we start trying to do that? You know, it's like if we were to start a members site now, it'd be like, why? What are you doing? Like, you're not going to get.
You can't get your finger in too many pies, and you almost want to get really, really, really good at what you're doing, and then expand. Exactly. And until you're at the top of what you're doing, I think so many people will come in and they'll go, okay, I need this, I need a website, I need this on my website, I need that. And it's like, well, you're not even the best version of you as a coach. So why are you then trying to split up into 10 different avenues? And yes, it might lead to you being decent at everything, but you should try and master your initial craft and then expand. And unfortunately, that takes time. And I think, again, people probably don't want to embrace the grind and the fact that you might be talking to a webcam for 3 or 4 years, or like 5 years, 10 years, etc., just talking to 10 clients, then 20 clients, then 30 clients. But that's all a part of the process. And it's not just instantaneous, unfortunately. You have to put in grind and work.
I think like a good way of looking at it is like, it's the same in regards to training. If you were to be expecting results after every session, or again, if you're comparing yourself to people at the top and you're going, fucking hell, why don't I look like that? Or I'm going to do what they do, because obviously, you know, that's how I'm going to look like that. It's not always the case. And again, you know, you're not going to, your online coaching business isn't going to go from 0 clients to 80 clients in the space of a month. Likewise, your physique isn't going to go from average to Mr. Olympia.
Unless you sign up to a business membership who will take you from earning no money to 10K within 6 weeks. And all you have to do is give them a small investment of $5,000.
No, all you have to do is message them, is DM them, start now. And they'll get back to you. I've never understood that. Like, you know, when people put just DM me coaching or DM start now. Why don't you just put DM me? Like, if you're going to promote yourself, you have 3,000 followers. You're going to check every DM. Exactly. You don't need exactly. Like,
I've got so many DMs. I just need to specify. Okay. Oh, someone said start now. They're starting now. Like, I need to know that you're starting now.
It just comes across as so robotic. And it's not, people aren't going to respect you for that. Like, you know, if we were to promote ourselves, we would literally just put, like, for example, just if you were to put at the bottom of your Instagram, like, if you're interested in coaching, drop me a message. Like, that is literally all you need to put, and people will find you. Or post about your coaching, post when you set up a new client, reshare what your clients are posting in their progress, things like that. Like, that's going to bring you a lot more business, and it's a lot more natural and respectful than posting like I've got 5 spaces opening this month, limited offers, 75% off if you message me coaching.
I'm so glad. Like, you know, if you were to tell me, and it's a bit morbid, but if you were to tell me I'd die tomorrow, what I'm proud of, I'd say I'm so proud that I've never, ever, ever on my story said 75% off or 25% off or like 1 slot available. Like, I've never in my entire life ever said anything about a discount. I've never devalued my service. I've never tried to make it like a bit of a scheme. I don't think I've even put, other than an application response, I don't think in the last year or 2 I've actually ever put, I have spaces, like message me, like, or this. I literally will put a link and say apply below. That's all I put.
I think that's enough though, isn't it? Like, that's still saying that you have availability.
And I even now get I get messages from people like, hey mate, just wondering, are you taking on new clients? And like, maybe I should be more vocal, but then I also think it leads to more natural clientele, and it's more where, like, I think it comes across a bit more genuine. If every single one of your stories is like flog, people will just be like, is this guy actually offering any actual content? Is there anything other than just him trying to promote himself and earn a bit more money? That's all it would be.
Exactly.
You know? So yeah, I don't know. Unless he's obviously signed up to a business membership, and then you'd be like, right, well, clearly he's going to take the next steps in his online coaching, and it's just going to be so much better.
From a mile off, people that are marketing themselves in that way, in my opinion, it put me off. If I was looking for a coach and that was their marketing tactic, was I'm looking for 5 guys who are ready for...
No, mate. So you're not telling me when they say, I'm looking for 5 male individuals who are switched on and ready to train, you don't go, oh my God, that's me. That's me.
That's exactly me. That's exactly what I'm like. Yeah. Then I DM them coaching, and then I just sit there and wait for the reply.
Oh God, what? Then you instantly signed up, and
then
they've already tagged you in
the
story.
It's 50% off. And I'm like, oh my God, it's 50% off as well. This is too good to be true. And then I sign up, and then they're absolutely shit. And it was too good to be true.
Imagine. That'd be hilarious.
Mate, that's what happens to people.
Have you got your plaque yet for earning like $3,000 a month for the first time? No, did you get your plaque? That's you missing out upon. I might make my own plaque. Imagine every time you get a new for yourself. Congratulations to my client Reece Fit on his 2K members plaque.
Just get a piece of paper. 2K, 3K.
Yeah. Imagine.
Get some random man onto the street in a suit just to stand next to you and point at it and be like, oh, thanks for my business mentor. Got 5K this month. Yeah.
I'm just going up and be like, hey mate, you won't get this. Can you be my business mentor? Take a photo. Yeah, you just take a photo with me. I promise you, just my Instagram will see it, and you just have to point at me. Just like,
I can't believe my business mentor travelled all the way from London to come see me and congratulate me on making 7K this month. Thank you so much.
Yeah, even though, mate, do you not know though? He had like 12 meetings that day as well. That's how he had 12 meetings, had 48 check-ins, 17 titles to win with his clients. So, like, no doubt, he's done really well. To come over and see me. Right, is it my question, mate?
Yeah. Let's speed through because we spent about half an hour on
this. If you could do one top set exercise in front of C-Bum to impress him, which you picking? A glute kick back naked. Yeah, a glute kick back naked. Just fuck me, please.
Yeah, do a dumbbell RDL.
The stupid shit in front of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I genuinely wouldn't do a set. Like I wouldn't be like, I'm going to impress him. I couldn't care if Seaman was like, oh, that's impressive.
Like he would watch or even be interested. And even if he was there and he was being paid to watch me do a set and tell me how impressed he was, how sad is that?
In my head, I'd be like, he doesn't give a fuck, and it would put me off.
I'd hate that. I'd hate someone there watching a set that I don't know. Or like, you know what I mean? Like they're judging.
How do you feel like I felt, mate, doing that calf raise at Ultraflex Rotherham? I was so pressured.
That was pressure.
I had a huge geezer stood over the leg press, me doing it like a toe press on it, just watching me. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. It's got so much pressure. I just didn't know what to do.
You just bottled it, didn't you? You just bottled the pressure. You can have the machine. Have the machine. I'm sorry.
Have the machine. I'm sorry. It's your machine anyway. That's what it was.
This is from Burvmer. That's his name. BRVMM. Burvmer. Should we aim for technical failure or absolute failure, and why?
Absolute failure. Train like a weapon, pussy. No RIR. Just keep going. Bone falls off, shoulder dislocates, keep going.
So what are we classing as technical versus absolute?
Absolute failure is, I'm going to guess, assisted reps, like going into where you literally have nothing in the whole contractile range. Yeah, like this is the thing. I don't know why there has to be like a specification. You should just train until you literally cannot get another rep that is from a contractile force. Like your contractile range fails, you know, and the whole range fails. There's some thought process where I say, right, you could take reps in like the lengthened and mid-range if there's availability there. Yeah. But yeah, like I wouldn't be looking to be going past that. And like technical failure with like, are we talking like, is it the same as if your form is absolutely immaculate and the second your form starts to break down a touch, that's when like, what would you classify it as? Because again, I find this it's overthinking in my opinion. Like it's overthinking.
Like, I feel like technical failure, I think that's the wrong terminology.
Yeah, I think
I would almost say like absolute failure would be what he's classing as technical failure, and then maybe past failure would be what he's maybe thinking of absolute. I'm not sure, but yeah, I wouldn't be advocating loads and loads of force reps and saying, you know, you have to fail through the entire range on every single set of every single exercise. Like, you know, obviously we chat about, you know, trying to manipulate the ranges, the profiles, and, you know, fatigue in different ranges throughout, things like that. But I wouldn't be, for example, on a hack squat, I wouldn't be, I failed on the concentric, now I need 5 force reps, then strip the weight and I'll do a drop set and then another drop set. Like, that's going way past failure. So yeah, it's I'm not sure whether we're missing something there in terms of what he's classing as technical failure. Maybe you know, you could look at it, we could change it slightly and look at it in terms of failure on continuous reps versus allowing pauses. I guess you could class that as, but that wouldn't be classed as technical failure. But even so, regardless of that, whatever you do, standardize it.
Yeah, what you'd like, I think he might be talking about like failure into the point where maybe a little bit body momentum or form starts to slightly.
Well, that's impossible to even like. That's impossible to properly quantify, because you might say, oh yeah, you know, you can allow for a little bit on that last rep, and then it's a bit more, and then it's a bit more, and then it's 2 reps, then it's 3 reps, and it's 4 reps. It's like, it's impossible to actually assess and say, this is what you should be doing. That's why it's important to film your training and watch it back, or have a coach who can say, because like, I guarantee, you know, we'll have clients who send videos where the last couple of reps are a little bit sloppy, but it's enough for you to be like, that I'm okay with that. Yeah, the execution is still good. It's safe. You're not going to hurt yourself. You're not doing anything stupid. You're not throwing the weight around and extending the set excessively. Likewise, we'll have clients who stop the set when you're like, you could have got more out of that. Like, you know, and they might think, oh, but the form would have broken down. It's like, yeah, but you know, the form.
Within reason isn't a bad thing. Like, it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think
a little bit of form breakdown within reason, within safety, isn't the end of the world. And I think on some things, it depends on the exercise, but on some things, it actually requires it. Like for example, like on a row, like any kind of row. I think the last rep or two, you might have the tiniest bit of torso movement. You're not trying to actively do it, but it might have a slight amount. You know, same potentially on a leg extension. Yeah, everything in your power is trying to get that last rep and that last couple of reps fully short. You might be slightly shy of it. Yeah, you know, but you're doing your absolute best to get there. You wouldn't just stop the set because you go, oh, that last rep was good, I'll leave it there. Go for the next rep. If you don't get it fully short, at least you know you went for it. Like that's sort of what, you know, and again, it's different on different exercises. It's difficult to say. That's why it's such a hard question to just give a definitive answer.
Yeah, no.
But in basic terms, without making things complicated, make sure your form's good and train hard.
Yeah, pretty simple. Anybody who would like to train with, if so why, keep up the good work from JR Fitness 365. So 365 days of the year, JR Fitness. He's always JR Fitness. What if it's a leap year? He's an extra. There's an extra day there, isn't it?
He's on a box. So he's Geo Ashley for one day.
No, because there's 364 days, isn't there, in a leap year?
No,
there's one day less.
No, there's one day more.
One day more?
Yeah.
No, one day more?
Yeah, because it's...
Yeah, because it comes around. Yeah, if your birthday's on the leap year. Yeah, fair enough. Right. So, yeah, on that other day, on the 66th, he's, you know, and then he's back. He wakes up, like, oh, shit, I'm back to Jamie. This is weird.
Thank God.
So, yeah, anybody you'd like to train with, mate? Can we say the dudes from Evo who's trained with Dorian Yates, Arnold, who else he trained with? He trained with everybody. AK, he's been in the gym with them when he was of age, but everyone says, oh, you need to train with him. He's trained with Dorian Yates.
You might well have done, to be fair. We don't know.
Doubt. I'm sorry, I'm doubting it.
I don't know. He's a nice guy, though.
Yeah, he's a nice bloke. But if my claim to fame at 70 is I trained with Dorian Yates, then
I trained with Finn Kelly once. Yeah, trained with Finn Kelly one time.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Amazing. Who the fuck's that? This guy that was half decent as a natty one time. He was 37. He was 37 and he got his pro card as a natty and then he retired. Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah.
And he died at 70 because he sacrificed 20 years for
20 years to get it.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, anybody you want to train with? No. Cristiano Ronaldo. I'd love to do a conditioning session with him. Yeah. It'd be good. I just thought. I wouldn't want to train with someone who's a gym. I'd just be like, oh, you're right, mate. How you doing?
It is weird, isn't it, though? I feel like that, but I feel like we should. I feel like we should be like, oh, I'd love to train with them, but I don't know. I don't think there's many that I would. Maybe someone like Sean Clarida, or even I don't know, maybe someone like Justin Shire, but not. There's not many.
I thought Justin Shire. Is it Shire?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily be like.
I would like, I'm honest, you know, like prime Ronnie Coleman. I'd like to see him throw £100. That'd be cool. That would just literally.
To be fair, actually, Keefe.
Yeah, true. It would be good.
Someone but again, just insanely strong.
If you were to say to me, and again, this isn't anything against Keefe, it's anybody. Hey, Reece, you're training with Keefe tomorrow. I wouldn't be like. Be like. Cool.
I wouldn't be like, oh my god. I'd just be like, oh, cool.
If I'm honest, I'd probably be like, I'd rather not. I'd probably just first train on my own.
Because you know that it do you. So you know it do you on everything and make you look like a fucking small natty.
I don't think about small natty. I don't think about that. But I think he probably would do me on the vast majority of bits. I reckon on presses I'd do him. Pulls he'd do me. Legs he'd destroy me. Pulls he's a little bit better. Presses I think I'm a bit better. So I'd do him on one body part. And to be fair, I reckon I probably wouldn't do him by a lot. And he'd do me, he would destroy me on legs. And on pull, I think he's a few reps above me. So I'd take the L. I'd be like, fair enough, Keefe. You're a freak. It's very, very impressive. But yeah, it's one of those. But I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't wake up and be like, oh my God, I'm training with Keefe.
Nah, I think it'd be more so for people that I wouldn't want to train with them for the experience of training with them. I'd want to train with them to try and gain any knowledge that I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That would be it.
Even Keefe, I'd like to see how he approaches sets. I know I've seen it in terms of watching his training videos, but you know what I mean? Things like that. But people, like I mentioned before, I'd like to see how they train. I'd like to see their insight to training, while they're training. Because obviously you can follow people and you can watch their sets and you can read how, what their captions are and things like that, watch their YouTube or whatever, but it's different. It's like when we say, if you want to learn how, a lot of people are like, oh, I want to how can I learn how to train harder? Train with people that train harder or watch people.
I think it helped massively. There was a guy at Ultraflex Leeds when I first started training. I was doing deadlifts and he put on I did 4.5 plates for a set of 5, and he was like, okay, cool, whack another plate on. So he was doing 5.5, and I was like, okay, sound. And he does it, looked fairly slow. I was like, okay, cool, he's probably gonna, he did 2 reps. And he was like, oh, just whack another plate on. And I was like, huh, what? And he was like, yeah, 6.5, that sound. And it was 280. And I remember thinking, and he literally just picked it up, and then he moved it easy, and then he moved 240, and I think he got a set of 10. And I was just like, that just happened. I was blown away because he was put another plate on, and I was almost in disbelief. I was like, you're not picking up 280 and just looking to make it look like it's nothing. And I remember thinking, fucking hell, probably a lot more I could do.
It shows,
yeah. I actually saw him.
That is one of the main things.
This year, I'm jumping in. I saw him when I went back. And it was Yeah. And I said to him, he once showed me his training plan, and he like asked me, and he was like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Mate, look at me and look at you. He's like probably the biggest dude in the gym." I was like, "You shouldn't be asking me. Like, I'll read through your training plan, but I'm not going to comment. Like, I've got no right to comment on what you're doing." And it was a good training plan. Like, it actually made sense, but he had it written out on paper. And when I went back there, like, he was speaking to me about shows. He was like, "Oh, you've done so well. Like, you followed me on Instagram." And I was like, "I've seen your strength." He was like, "You're stronger than me." And I was like, "Yeah, it's quite cool that. Like, you know, give me 2-3 years." And I went back there and I was like, who was one of the strongest? I'm stronger than. And from a competition standpoint, I've done more, which is like pretty mental when you think about it. And this is just a guy who I was like, when I was like 19, 20, I was like blown away at. I was like, this guy's a fucking alien. So yeah, so it opened my eyes, and I think that is one thing that you can get from training with people who are stronger. And maybe we are a little bit arrogant at times, and we think we probably, not saying we don't think we can learn, but I just think it's like, right, we do what we do.
We definitely can, but I think because we're in our
bubble,
in our ways, and we have a good routine and we have a good dynamic, that we know that a lot of people, if we were to train with people, like it takes away from that. You know what I mean? Like we've said before, I don't think many people would add to it. I don't think we'd get so much more out of a session with someone or whatever it may be. It'd probably feel like, not like, you know, they're getting in the way, but because we're so used to just training as us two, it would feel a little bit sort of out of the ordinary. But yeah, in terms of what you were just saying about that, like that is what holds most people back, isn't it? It's the mental limitations that you put on yourself. So like you watching that guy pick up 240, you're like, oh, sound like there's no chance he's going heavier. That's his top set or whatever. Yeah. Then he's like, oh, I'll put a plate on, and you're like, what the fuck? That's what most people, that's what their thought process is all the time, is that I couldn't go any heavier than that. Oh, there's no chance. Well, if you think like that, you're not going to, like, ever. If you think, oh, there's no chance I could do that, you'll never get there. You've got to visualize it. You've got to be able to try and visualize it yourself. Otherwise, it won't happen. Right, should we wrap it up?
How many? Is it, you got many more? Because I've got probably like 2 more that we could literally do a speed run through.
Yeah, I've got 2 more. Go.
Right. Who's your favorite client? That was from DP, because I said he tagged me in a story, and I was like, favorite client ever. I don't have a favorite client. I have a few clients who I class more as like mates, friends, because I've built up a good relationship. It's like a teacher. You shouldn't have favorites. You'll naturally have a few people you just connect really well with. And there's probably like 20 clients I get on really, really well with. And then the rest, fortunately, I get on well with pretty much everybody. I'd say the same for you. Like, you don't have one particular client that you'd be like, he's my number one, would you?
No, but I also don't think there isn't any that you're like, oh, I really don't get on with them. Because if that's the case, then you won't end up really coaching them for very long.
Yeah.
But like you say, and that's just life. Like, naturally in life, you click with some people more than others.
Yeah.
And often in coaching, it tends to be the ones that put the most effort in. So that is usually what is quite nice as a coach, is to have clients who are committed, who communicate, who put effort in. It's more than likely that you're going to connect well with those versus the people who don't chat to you, forget to check in, forget to send their photos. Like, which one do you think you're going to end up having a better relationship with?
Exactly. What you put in is what you get out.
Yeah.
Your question, mate.
If Reece was still natural, wait, you're not natural.
Wait, this is news to me. I'm not.
Get off this podcast. This is a naturals only podcast.
God, I'm so sorry, mate. No wonder AJ didn't talk to me the other day. He just blanked me.
Yeah, he spoke to me. He was like, "There's no chance you're coming on Natural Bodybuilding Worldwide."
Mate, you're not even either. You're shit. You didn't get the invite.
I know. I didn't get the invite.
Jack Thorburn, mate.
Avengers.
Yeah, you're not on it. I don't know what you're doing. Everyone's on it for you.
I know. Every other natty but me. Fucking hell.
They looked at your face and thought, must be the Anadrol. That's the only reason.
They thought must be the natty. That's what it must have been. They thought, he can't still be natty.
No, training with Reece as well. He's a big cheat. So Finn must be a big cheat as well.
If Reece was still natural, how do you think you would compare physique and strength?
I was pretty good as a natty, if I'm honest.
Probably like we did before he was a big cheat, where he was still good and strong.
Yeah. Like, if you were to look through, I did a like a reel. Like, if you were to actually check that, I was natty up until 22. And like at 19 and 20, like, I think I got a few comments like steroids.com on gear. I got a DM like on gear since 16, sad times. I was like, no. Like I always looked relatively decent. Like I think a lot of people probably would have assumed looking at me. Like I was definitely smaller. I definitely wasn't as strong, but I was pretty decent for a natty, all things considered.
Yeah, you can tell when people, like, especially people who take it seriously. Like you can tell, for example, like Jack Richardson.
Like, blown up.
Yeah. Like
he looked good.
Yeah, he was very, very good naturally, but 100% he wasn't on gear, obviously. Yeah. And then he jumps on gear and you think, fuck, like, yeah. Like that's when you can tell. And that's similar with you, really. Like you were very good before, but you still had a natty kind of look to you. You were still quite skinny, even when you were big. You know what I mean? Like it's just how it is as a natty. Like you're not going to look dense and round like some people do. Some people genetically can do, but still, like you can still tell they're not natty, or they are natty. You know what I mean? You can still kind of tell. There's some that are like, oh, like they're natty. You think, fucking hell, they look mint, and they look like they've got genetics as if they weren't natty. Like they look as if they've got those, like, you know, they look in the same kind of traits. But that's very, very rare. But yeah, it wasn't as if when Reece was natty, he was massively different to now. He's just progressed at a faster rate.
Yeah. To put it into perspective, I was like 86 kilos come like 2-3 in Cuba, and I would have been in stage condition on like 82, 83. And I competed last year at 92 to 95. So I had like 8 to 10 kilos less muscle, but I still had very good shape. Like if I was to throw up some photos, you'd go, fucking hell, like I would have been decent. Like I look at it and think I probably should do like a teen physique show. I would have been all right. But yeah, one of those. Who actually asked that question, if you don't mind me asking? Who was it?
Harry Austin.
Oh, that's Gulliver's. Mate. Yeah, Gulliver's mate. Yeah, fair enough.
The boys.
Hopefully doing well. Big goal, mate. Got out of the group chat. Yeah, he left the group.
Yeah, told me.
Oh yeah, and then everyone was thinking of the upset goal, and then I couldn't add him back for some reason. So everyone was like, "Is Gull okay? Reece, is Gull okay?" So Gull is all good. Jack Eagles shows for this year, probably none. If I'm honest, mate, we'll see. I'm still a junior. I don't
see where you're going to be, so you can go and beat you.
Yeah, imagine that's what he's just going to be like. Oh, I'll do that show as well. I do think I'll probably go up against Jack again. It'd be good, I reckon. It'd be a good little battle. I'll hopefully bring it back to 1-1, and we'll have a 3-way for the best.
Have a 3-way. Is that with me? Am I involved?
Hey, Jack Eagles, mate. You're really attracted. Do you mind if I have a 3-way? I'll be like, shows for this year, none, mate, unless you're doing one. And to be fair, as long as I can enjoy the post-show treats with you afterwards, mate, that'd be good. I should just turn it instantly gay. But like backstage, I'm just like, hey, mate, what are you doing afterwards? You're looking good. What are you doing after? That'd be fucking funny. Right. Have we got any more? Make a gym. You're only allowed 4 pieces of equipment, any brand, to train in forever. Cybex Bravo, number 1. Best cable. Everyone loves the Cybex Bravo, but any dual cable stack, I would choose. 4 pieces of equipment, any brand. So cable, dual cable, Cybex Bravo.
Cybex Smith.
Cybex Smith. Cybex Smith. Yep.
Cybex Smith. I don't want to pick all Cybex, but Cybex Hack isn't a bad shout.
Yeah.
And then the Cybex squat press as well. That's, to be fair, that is actually probably what.
Yeah, pull down, single arm row, dual row.
I don't know. Maybe prime leg extension.
What, instead of the squat press?
I'm trying to think. Like,
you could do a hamstring curl with it as well, a reverse. You could do a reverse. Yeah.
That could be great.
No, but if you've only got 4 bits of kit, you're not going to do a hamstring curl elsewhere. You could do a dumbbell hamstring curl. Are we doing
dumbbell? You've only got 4 bits of kit. A Smith and a cable stack.
Yeah.
So that's those two 100%.
I think you only choose one squat variant or leg press.
You've got pretty much all your rowing and all your pressing and things like that you can do on those. Are we not including dumbbells or anything?
Dumbbells and a barbell.
Yeah.
No, because I'm not Smith squatting. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Hack squat.
Let's say no dumbbells, but like barbells and plates are included.
Yeah. Okay. Cybex Smith, Cybex Bravo, Cybex Hack, barbell.
I'd maybe choose the squat press instead of the hack, because it is very good.
Yeah. Any squat variant or leg press that isn't Matrix or Watson.
Yeah.
Techno Gym plate loaded pivot leg press. The GOAT.
Use the Matrix tricep extension, one where you sat like this and you press down.
The worst.
That's definitely in there.
Yeah, definitely. Imagine if we did a GOAT one, like the most useless bits of kit. So the Matrix abdominal crunch.
You said that was good. You like that?
No, okay, no. The Atlantis abdominal crunch, awful.
Fucking horrible. The bicep, the Watson preacher curl that you used.
That is horrendous. The worst bit of kit. Pete came over, I told you, because I was literally, he heard me say it. I did. I was like, fuck me. What the fuck? I was talking to myself. I was like, this is awful. I was like, what the fuck? I stopped. And then he came over again when I was doing a set and I was like, I'm stopping. I was like, that is the worst preacher curl I've ever used in my entire life. Worst bit of kit I've ever used. The Watson lateral raise, because you're too thick to grip onto.
Yeah. Too light.
Matrix hack, but I feel like the Matrix hack.
Matrix hack, all right, yeah. I'd say the Matrix diverging, pull down.
Now starts here, ends here.
Yeah,
like, comes like this.
Yeah, it's like that. Right, come on, that wasn't the question, and we need to wrap this up.
Right, come on then.
This is from Waboz. Wink face Waboz, wink face.
Wink face Waboz. Loves it.
How to approach weighted dip. Sets, reps, cues. Thanks for the podcast. No, thank you, Waboz, for listening.
Yeah. So you go over, you get yourself a belt, and you attach weight onto it to the point where ideally you'd want to fail within a rep range that you're happy with. Now, if you're not strong enough and you have to do body weight, then do body weight. Focus on elbow extension to actually make sure, and elbow flexion to actually, for you to come up and down, and don't just go in the process of dipping your chest and dipping your head into the bar. Make sure you
stop being a patronising twat.
I mean, I'm trying to sound like David Attenborough when he's fucking demonstrating what a goose does in the wildlife, like on a dip.
What a goose does in the wildlife. What a goose does in the wildlife. That doesn't even make sense.
Featuring David Attenborough. Right, a tricep dip. Do them in body weight, mate. If you can get more than, let's say... Do
them on an assisted machine if you can't do body weight.
Yeah. If you can do more than 15 reps body weight, you might want to look to load. If you can then look to maybe micro load up, keep your reps probably within maybe I'd like to say a 6 to 10 rep range for a top set, and maybe like a 10 to 15 as a back off. That'd be quite a good idea. If you're safe and you can go a bit lower rep range, I think that's some benefit to it. But in reality, I'd probably keep them a 6+. I'd probably actually say like an 8+, if I'm honest, just based off like shoulders and how the movement feels, and also just the safety of it when it comes to a lot of load. And as mentioned, I'd focus on just trying to get the movement actually initiated through your pecs, and likewise your elbows, to almost allow for that range of motion. It's quite easy to get less range of motion at the actual joint itself that we're trying to really, like say, to move. So obviously the elbow, and then likewise just dip into it and almost kind of create where like you're dropping your chest down and dropping your head down, almost swinging back and forth. In relation to feet, I always like my feet kind of crossed so I can have them like planted against each other to create a little bit more stability. And obviously you'd want to brace very, very hard prior to each rep. It's quite easy on a dip to rush and just be swinging around and just kind of going up and down. What would you say, mate, for a dip? You haven't done a dip in ages since the bin dips.
Yeah, since my scapular issue still. Again, that's, if I can't do dips, then it makes me think like dumbbell pressing probably not a good idea either, even though it doesn't feel painful during it, but obviously it's just not very stable. But yeah, pretty much everything that you said, mate. I'm not going to drag it out any longer.
Is that all your questions?
Yes.
Perfect. All mine done. Right, another podcast. That's it. Hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for the story tags. Catch you later.